Okay, now we have our new Vista, brand new Honeywell VISTA 21iP panel. We have fished our zone wires through this knockout in the can, and we've got our siren, transformer, and keypad wires coming out of this hole. Both of these knockouts are in there for this very purpose, so you just kind of knock them out and you've got your hole. We had our hole in the wall with all our wires coming through. So we are now going to mount this new can, which is a slightly different size than our old can. Obviously, we want to make sure that the hole where the wires are coming through is going to be behind these holes so we don't pinch any wires. We've got a level. Make sure we do a nice clean installation here. And we're going to mark our 4 holes. All right, got our holes marked. Hold the panel down. We're gonna have to just feed the wires back through the hole while we drill. We've got screws and wall anchors, and we've got our electric drill. So first, drill our 4 holes. Making sure they're big enough for our anchors. We have a hammer in our anchors. Our last one, and we are now ready to mount the panel. Fish our wires back through the knockouts, starting with our whole zone bundle here. Feed the wires through the hole. We've got our transformer, siren, and keypad wires through the other hole. Pull them through and line up with our holes. Screws. Going to replace our drill bit with a Phillips head screw bit and get this in nice and easy. It's on the side. Oh. Good thing we have plenty of screws. Like I said, plenty of screws. Awkward to do up on a ladder here, but getting there. Just enough to hold it. Okay, we've got our two up top. Finalize our last one. Now our can, nice and secure to the wall.